Welcome to Haunted Stories and Investigations. This is episode 2 of the Folklore Tales, Spirits of the Waterways. Water plays an important role in a lot of folklore and legend. There are mythological water beings, creatures and gods, stories of heroes to do with water, and even tales of islands and continents lost below the surface. In this tale we will look at some of the spirits of the waterways in the United Kingdom. Scottish folklore tells us of ashrays or water lovers. These are completely translucent creatures often mistaken for ghosts. They can be both male and female, but are found only underneath the water. Being completely nocturnal, they are rarely seen, and should they be exposed to sunlight, ashrays melt and only a puddle of water remains. Bockhausten are brook horses, often called kelpies. They are said to appear near rivers on foggy weather, and if you try to ride them, you'll never be able to get off, and the horse will dive back into the waters, drowning the rider. Grindylows hail from my own county of Yorkshire. Parents told their children stories of Grindylows to prevent them from getting into the cold waters in the area. Grindylows, although rare, have long arms and fingers to drag children into the deep to feed their young. Stories such as Jenny Greenteeth and Peg Powler originate from the folklore of Grindylows. The Kraken is a legendary sea monster, often found in pirates and sailors' folklore stories. People think this creature to be some sort of giant squid, living deep in the oceans and only surfacing when either called or provoked to attack ships. It is huge, and its form has often been mistaken for islands. It leaves visible streams of bubbles in its wake. The Lady of the Lake is the name of an aquatic spirit who appears in several legends, including that of King Arthur. She is said to have raised Sir Lancelot of the Lake, gifted the sword of Excalibur to Arthur, and brought the same king to Avalon after his death. Vivian, who was the Lady of the Lake in the beginning of King Arthur's life, and Nimue later succeeded her. As Lancelot was raised, he received a ring from the lady that would protect him from all magic. Nessie is perhaps one of the most famous water creatures of folklore. She inhabits the Loch Ness Lake in Scotland, and while many sightings have occurred, evidence remains inconclusive. Theories range from a forgotten dinosaur called a plesiosaur to a giant eel-like creature. Whatever Nessie is, belief in her endures, as does her mystery. Where would folklore tales of water be without merfolk? These creatures are said to have the upper body and head closely resembling humans, but the tails and fins of a fish. Females are known as mermaids and the males as mermen. Their great beauty and charm is said to lure sailors to their deaths, but the folklore here is so vast it warrants further reading than I can cover in one of these tales. In Greek mythology, sirens were sea nymphs who drew sailors to them with their singing, wrecking the ships on the rocks and sinking them. Most folklore depicts them as women with legs and wings of birds playing musical instruments, but some images have them as half human, half fish, similar to mermaids. The Welsh call them Morgans, whilst in Germany they are known as Nixies. Our last two creatures of folklore are water nymphs and water sprites. Nymphs are female nature entities bound to a particular body of water. Known as naiads, they inhabit wells, fountains, springs, brooks, rivers, marshes, ponds and lagoons. The naiad's spirit is tied to the water, so if the water dries up, the naiad dies. In some lore, naiads are said to be dangerous, fascinated by the beauty of men and drawing them to a watery end. Naiads are jealous and can anger, much like the tides, but they have been known to save sailors lost in storms and have the gift of foresight and prophecy making. Water sprites, by contrast, are humans with skin the colour of the sea. They can live on land and in water and are relatively harmless if only people would leave them alone. I hope you've enjoyed this foray into the folklore of our watery places. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, it really helps the channel. Subscribe, it's free, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, stay safe out there, happy hunting!